Every weekend, I look forward to getting out there. It's a freedom like no other. It's part of who I am. If you ride, you know what I mean. That's why I insure with Shannons. They get it. They share our passion and give us the features riders want, like limited use cover and multi-vehicle discounts. Shannons insure all types of road bikes, not just classics. Whatever you ride, ride with Shannons.
Call 134646 for a quote.
Rare Spares has over 50,000 product lines and releases over 500 new products every year. Your local Rare Spares distributor has what you need when you need it. And as the only restoration company officially backed by Holden and Ford, we take our part in your project very seriously. Rare Spares, more than just a part in your project.
Good evening, sim racing fans, and welcome to your Thursday night broadcast here on SRW TV. Tonight we bring to you the Shannons Toyota GR86 Nationals. This is round two, thanks to Warren and Brown Tools, and tonight we are at Mount Panorama Circuit, hosted in Bathurst. I am Nathan ShiBBy Howard, and next to me in the comms box is Mr. Ryan Green. Good evening, sir.
Good evening, not John McHenry ShiBBy.
Yeah, yes, that is me. John McHenry is out on track at the moment, as well as.
I'm not Ryan Price.
No, you're not Ryan Price. That's 100% right. He is out on track as well, mate. So good to see plenty of cars out there, mate. This is Mount Panorama, one of the most iconic race tracks in the world. One of the most fun tracks I've ever had the chance to not only drive around in real life, but also in the sim. So A couple of guys out here I do know have never driven on this track before. I think it's Ryan Price's first night of actual racing at Bathurst. He was telling me just recently how much of a handful it is, and I said yes it is, but it is so much fun. So get out there and enjoy it. If you don't know Bathurst or Mount Panorama, get out of this broadcast. No, I am joking. It is a 6.14 kilometre track. Massive long straight down the back end, right into some really tight corners, nice S's there, and then we also head up a straight right before we climb up the mountain with twists and turns all the way over the top, coming down the other side. It is going to be an absolute phenomenal race tonight with these 86s screaming around this track.
Yeah, this is the track last season. Oh, sorry, pardon me, not last season, but the season before, where my championship completely came unraveled. Every time I seem to drive around here, it's given me nothing but bad fortune. So I'm hoping I don't manifest that from the comms box tonight. But you know, it has a way of biting quite hard, the mountain. So
oh yes,
it's
up the top of the mountain. Small mistakes have big outcomes, so it definitely can bite quite hard. But yes, the championship round from the season prior was pretty phenomenal. Unfortunately, it did bump you off the top spot, but it was a great race all round. If you guys want to go back and see any of our past broadcasts, they are all live on YouTube. You can check everything out there. Huge shout out to, of course, Shannon's Insurance for jumping on board with our Toyota GR86 Nationals. Shannon's has been around in Australia for multiple years. I remember them as a child having the ads on TV with the Go-Go Mobile 13 Go-Go 134646. Get your quote in now. Can't forget Warren and Brown Tools for coming on for the round sponsor as well. And of course, Racecraft for jumping in for our qualifying session tonight. Now, let's see where everybody is out on track. We are out on track for a practice session for another 6 minutes. This is our Super Sprint series this season. So every round is going to be a Super Sprint round. And that means 3 20-minute sprint races. After the first race, there will be a reverse top 10 for the second race. And then a reverse top 5 for the third race. So far, after last week, this has turned this series into some really close racing, keeping everybody on top of each other. I think interesting to see what happens here tonight, because I think if there is a mistake on the mountain and someone gets away, that could be all they need to keep out in front, as these cars heavily rely on that draft racing.
Yeah, I think that's something that was a really positive change towards this season. As you were saying, the Super Sprint, it was last season, especially in those 60-minute races, it did seem to really, really drag out. I mean, something we are going to miss this season is those pit stop battles and the, you know, will people make it to the end, and trying to guess fuel loads and watching people fuel save and do all the different pit strategies. So that's something we are going to miss out on. But there was a few of those races last season. There were those 60 minutes, even especially, unfortunately, the championship round, were just dragged out like really long. And these cars, if they get separated, they're just kind of driving around on their own. So it was a really positive change. The Super Sprint, it's good to reset the grid every 20 minutes, go at it again. Still got the reverse top 10s and top 5s, so it still keeps it interesting.
Definitely. Well, we also brought the Super Sprint series, not the Super Sprint series, the Super Sprint rounds into also our V8 supercars. So the simrigs.com V8 supercars amateur series did a Super Sprint round on Tuesday, and that was an absolute cracker. We'll be looking forwards to Sunday night for the Pro-Am. We were on board with Greg Johnston as he was coming up over the hill, hoping to get a great shot from the Warren and Brown Tools cockpit cam over the mountain. But he has managed to pull over. So Ryan Price is coming up, so we'll just quickly switch over to him in the Bluey Mobile. This is Ryan Price, absolutely new to sim racing. Bounces off the wall. This is where it's very dangerous. And then anyone behind him could be caught up in that during the race. As I said, Ryan Price is new to this, so we are a big development league. I want to get as many of you new guys out there having a blast with us. Jump on board Mark Cochran from Apex Esports League. Let's see if we can finalise the run over Bathurst, over the top of the mountain before we head into the racecraft. Oh my gosh, I can't get letters out tonight.
Speaking of what you were just saying before, with if you lose it over the top here, coming through Sulman Park and whatnot. I was just last night in Assetto Corsa Competizione, the SRO league run by GT World Challenge, so like the official, sponsored league. The Asia round was last night, so we compete in that AVO as a team. I'm not sure if you're on Twitter much, ShiBBy, but there was a clip floating around of the biggest pile up probably in esports history across the top of the mountain. It was almost the entire grid and the whole track jammed in a league without safety cars all across the top. It went like, not completely viral, but it went a little bit viral on Twitter. It was absolutely massive. Like, cars in the air, cars on top of cars, cars underneath cars. Like 5 cars deep, just looked like a scrapyard. So it's something that's fresh in my mind, and something we definitely can see happen should there be contacts from anywhere from the cutting really down to the S's or even past the dipper. So hope we don't see the track get blocked up like that tonight. These cars can take a bit more of a bump than an error-sensitive GT3, so we'll see what happens. But I hope you'd hate to see a big wreck like that.
Yeah, it's like going to NASCAR and not hoping for a wreck, that's for sure. But that GT3 in ACC, was that the same league that Sam races in?
No. That's SRO's like the big esport league for ACC.
Nice.
So like the top for Asia.
Right,
and
I need to push my cousin to get back there.
Yeah, it's a bit of a bloodbath to get in. That's for sure. But yeah, if I encourage anyone to look up, probably if you just wrote GT World Challenge Asia, or Niels Najok posted a video, Luke Whitehead Racing posted a video of it on Twitter, so any of those guys, you can check it out. It's quite a laugh.
We'll have to go check that out. I was trying to dig up the full last week's results to see where we were standing at.
Hello,
You've pressed safety car. Good to see the buttons working there.
Panorama. We got a beautiful race here tonight. We had 15 minutes of qualifying.
I've got to get a streak.
I don't think we'll get 6 laps in because we're
Quiet, Tyson. I can't mute him. We can hear the safety control. Oh, J-Mac's going for a jump. Oh my gosh.
He's landed it.
That's my job. But apart from that, we know how to race.
Right, we could hear race control then giving the briefing for our drivers as we head into the racecraft qualifying session. So we will see the cars shooting out of the pit lane now.
It was looking at like only 12 drivers, but that number's jumped up to about 15 or 16 right now. So a good few jump in the last minute. So we should have a bit of a decent grid, better than what we thought we were going to get going in.
Yeah, quite a few drivers actually. I assume Bathurst being such a well-known track, especially for Australian drivers, that a lot of these guys are pretty comfortable with the track, and some of them may not needed that 2-hour practice session that we open up for all our drivers. And they've jumped in at the last minute to get on. But yeah, no, really good looking field so far. Jumped out first, car 95, Dan Batouche is leading the pack at the moment. as we head out for our out lap right now.
Yeah, this is definitely one of the tracks where you got to be in the slipstream if you're going to be up the front of the grid. It's actually what I found from racing around here is one of the big spots is from the cutting all the way up to the S's. These cars really struggle going uphill, and being able to sit behind someone, you're flat from the cutting through to down here anyway at the S's. So being able to get in that draft and have less aero resistance while going uphill, it's a lot easier on the small 2.4 litre boxer engine. So it's very important. That's definitely a spot. Obviously down Conrod here, massive gains as well, but it's all downhill. The air resistance the engine's not going to work as hard, but definitely up the hill across the mountain is very, very underrated, getting in behind somebody.
Definitely in these cars, they just don't have the power like most other cars. This is a really good entry-level vehicle if you want to get out here and have a race. Great car to learn, rear-wheel drive, really loose and light, so really does teach you the starting points of what you need to do to become a better racer. It's been a cracker series since it's joined iRacing, so they did a really good choice there. And also in the actual Australian leagues, they put these on before the V8 supercars a lot of the time. So it used to be the Porsche Cup, now they have the GR86 series.
Yeah, I do have a IRL lap time for you. It was in the Australian Toyota GR86 series. It was Luke Van... God, alright, this is the last name. Van Hawade, I'm going with. Hawad. I will go with Hawad. Luke Van Hawad, and they did a 2:37.4 in the 2nd of October 2019. So I think we're down to the 32s already in that I saw in practice. So I don't think it's very representative of the time we're going to be seeing around here. But that's the IRL benchmark that I think most, if not all, of these guys are going to get above.
Mr. Jason Douglas, thank you for joining us tonight, mate. I think because qualifying has clicked over, mate, you might have actually lost your chance to join the session.
He should be able to still until it's a qualifying end.
Oh, mate, get out there, Jace. Get out there. Come for a race. Plenty of drivers out here tonight. It's looking really good. We're checking out the good-looking car of Mr. John McHenry, J-Mac of the Locked On Lads for Racing. And he is actually our leader on the points board at the moment, finishing overall first last week. So he got a 4th in the first race, 2nd in the 2nd race, and 1st in the heat. So that puts him up into holding P1 at the moment after round 1. Dan Batouche for ETS Motorsports is holding P2 with Greg Johnson from Team Greg Racing in P3. So really good outcome from those 3 drivers after last week, but the mountain is a different story. So
yeah, and you can just see the massive train across the top of the mountain as everyone's trying to scramble to get a little bit of tow and try to get it in and get the lap times. The tyres are such a long straights. Takes a while for them to heat up. Your critical laps are going to be from the end of lap 2 onwards, I would say, before the tyres get really into the window. Such tricky over the top. These cars we've seen over all the races, they're very, very sensitive to elevation change, and especially when the track drops away and it crests, and that's all it is over Brock Skyline and down through the S's, and there's a lot of curb there as well. You got to be so feathery on the brake and really balance the weight over the front wheels. So easy to lock up, so easy to lock your rears and spin it around, and there's just nowhere to go. If you lose it over there, you're just into the wall and maybe somebody else into you. So definitely something that we're gonna see tonight. I would say almost definitely is someone stacking it over the top of the mountain.
Definitely, mate. As the times are coming in hot and fast, Bruce White was holding the fastest lap until Mr. John McHenry came through with the 2:33.276. Look at that, a good 2nd off the rest of the pack at this present time. Some really good, consistent times going to be flowing through now. And I tell you what, I'm so stoked that this man is back out here, Mr. Toddy Thorburn. He's a big part of SRW, has been with us from the beginning, used to do a lot of broadcasting and commentating with us, had to take some time away to focus on personal life. And he's absolute chef Toddy, one of the best chefs in New Zealand, back out there in the Fonterra branded 86. It's good to see him getting back out there and come and have a race for us. Jace, if you can get in and qualify, mate, get in and qualify. Just do it, bud.
He's on track.
Oh, awesome. So we've got another driver pulled in. That's so good to see. These 86s are turning out tonight. Not really many purples flowing through. A lot of greens and some personal bests.
So this track broken up into 6 mini sectors. Both of the first sectors about 30 seconds in time, about even, and then from then on to about 23, 12, 30 and 25. So for the most part about 30 seconds for each sector. Bar sector 4, that's your shortest sector of the track. So we'll see get us a good indication of where most of the people are making up a lot of their time. And or losing a lot of their time as well. So
Tyler Sheaf for Velocity Sim Lab out there. Geez, that's a good looking livery. That's new. Hopefully you can put it to good use. Get some. Tell you what, a lot of respect for Tyler. An absolute dirt main, absolute sprint car main. Joined Sim Racing World because we did a series of sprint cars, joined for that, and never driven road cars, jumped in road cars, and now he can't get enough of it. Racing GT3, 86s, anything else he can get his hands on, and doing a phenomenal job. At the moment, he's actually sitting in P5. Oh, he just got done by Fritz, knocked down to P6. Daniel Fritz moves up into P4. Mark Cochran jumps up into P3.
Safety car button.
Oh, I can't type. I gotta turn those hotkeys on. Oh my gosh. Let me quickly adjust those hotkeys. Bear with me 1 second. Let's make this button. Alright, sorry ladies and gentlemen for the safety car button. I was doing a bit of typing in the background and forgot that my safety car button is the letter C.
So about 6 minutes left in the session. John McHenry's already got a 1.2 second gap back to Bruce White. So he's been putting in the hard yards and he's reaping the rewards. So a massive gap. But from then on back, the gaps from Bruce White through to Tyler Schaefer, 3 100ths to Cochran, 8 100ths to Edwards, 2.5 tenths to Fritz, 10th to Bartouche, 2.5 tenths to Sheafy. So all of those guys really separated by less than half a second. So even for Sheaf, if he improves 4 tenths, he's up about 4 or 5 spots. So it's a lot to play for there for those guys. That's super tight for P3 through P7. So far, it's all dependent if you can get out on track, get some good.
Just jumps up into 5th. Sorry to cut you off there, mate. I just saw another movement. Hodgkinson just jumps up 5th, so
another one to the big pile of times.
Yeah, yep. And also, Jason Douglas haven't set a time yet, and we know he is a very quick young driver. So out here driving for LMR Esports. Lodge Bros being their main sponsor. Bruce White on a purple.
That was really committed through the dip,
yeah.
He got really committed right up to the wall.
Through, didn't improve on the timing table, did improve his own lap though. Does bring him that little bit closer to J-Mac. Daniel Fritz now up into 4th. A lot of movement on that timing table. Positions changing every lap so far. Right on board with Jason Douglas. So I do want to see what time he shoots through here. 3 personal bests so far. Greggy Johnston as well, still yet to set a time, but out there on 4 personal bests.
If I had to take a guess, it's going to be him somewhere around the P5, P4 range. But we'll see when he comes to the line.
The quickest time? Over the line.
He may have invalidated.
Yeah, nothing registered. Unlucky. Where's Greggy Johnson? Because he's coming around as well in his wear till for Tourette's. Absolutely fantastic what Greg Johnson does with his racing. Oh, what you got in the bits, Greggy? You were on some personal bests, mate.
Must have been validated as well.
I wish I could see that somewhere if they invalidated it or not. That'd be great, because then we could...
It pops up on SDK, but only for 2 seconds. It's very easy to miss on the URL.
Alan Hodgkinson, Crisscross Racing out there following. Is that his teammate Jake Edwards? He's right in front of him. No, it's not, but he does come through and puts himself into provisional P3
by 1/100th. And then there's 2 100ths back to P5.
Oh my gosh, this is getting
close.
And
there's 6 100ths back to...
Mark Turner now.
There you go. So...
just launched himself into P3 again. Look how close these times are.
It's a great lap there from Mark Turner. So that's, yeah, half a second he's put himself between himself and Cullen Hodgkinson in P4. But that is a bloodbath from Cullen Hodgkinson back to P7. Only 8 100 separate those 3 drivers. That's just about as tight as it gets. You couldn't even blink it that fast.
No, not at all. Steven Sinkovich coming across the line. He looked a bit slow there. Oh, no, he invalidated his lap. Otherwise, that would have been a 2:33, a high 2:33 he was looking for there, but it looks like it has been invalidated, and he didn't get that time locked in. Kevin Wakefield drifting around the final corner, has 3 personal bests. He probably didn't want that slide at the end there. Didn't improve on his time. Will stay in P12 at the moment. I suppose now this is hard because they can't get out for an out lap. Anybody out on track will want to stay out on track right now. Because by the time you get out and do your out lap, this qualifying session, thanks to Racecraft, is going to be over. And the start of our sprint rounds kick off.
Cullen Hodgkinson will get his lap done, but I don't think the other 2 will, well, 3 that will, Jake Edwards, Wayne Edwards, and Stephen, I don't think they'll get their laps finished in time. Only 20 seconds left in this session. Cullen may not even make the line.
No, I don't think so. Not with 20 seconds to go. You'd have to be absolutely flying to get there in 20 seconds. Oh, it could be close.
Yeah, he's not going to make it, unfortunately. You hope he's not green, but he is looking like he was on a pretty good lap, so...
Come on. Oh, how unfortunate. The final turn, but that is our Racecraft qualifying session done and dusted. Once everything loads up, I'll throw the results up real quick. And then we'll jump to the grid because it's going to be exactly the same anyway. John McHenry from Locked On Racing will take out your Racecraft equipment, qualifying results, and pole position here tonight for round 2 of your Shannons Insurance GR86 Nationals. As we jump to the grid right now, McHenry sitting pole. Bruce White will line up right next to him. Row 2 will be Mark Turner and Cullen Hodgkinson. Row 3, Mark Cochran and Daniel Fritz. Row 4, Jake Edwards and Dan Batouche. Row 5, Wayne Edwards and Tyler Sheaf will round out your top 10. Behind them will be Ryan Price and Kevin Wakefield. Then Stephen Sinkovich, Toddy Thorburn, Brendan Soper, Greg Johnson, and Jason Douglas. And thanks to Tyson McAvoy, he is your race control this evening, as they are set, ready, and waiting to go. And we get a camera. There we go. The boys are out there.
2-minute grid timer, so another 40 seconds or so before we get this one underway. It's got us set for a 9-lap race. We should not make that, actually, doing the maths in my head. So it should be about 8 laps or so.
Yeah, it's quite a long track. Quite a long track. Getting set. We are waiting for Callan to take to the grid. I'm looking forward to this start of our Shannons Insurance Toyota GR86 Nationals. Thank you so much, Shannons, for coming on board and helping us out with this series. We are get ready, set, green to go racing here for round 2. Lights are green. Our drivers are away. Great start from everybody. Always looks extremely slow in the 86s compared to the other series. Good start. Nobody bogged down. Looks like there was someone already trying to make moves down the inside, and it was Jake Edwards already making moves. Was that his teammate? No, that's actually Daniel Fritz in front of him, getting around people as well. Great start off the line there. They are going to draft each other all the way up this straight. Remember, guys, cold tyres. These 86s are ruthless on cold tyres.
John McHenry, a really bad start through to Hell's Corner. Just ran a little bit wide, it looks like, and Bruce White just snuck by. He's taking the lead into Murray here as they make the run up towards the cutting. You got to get on the train tracks around about now. We're on board with Jake Edwards. He's going to have a look up the inside of Callan Hodgkinson. He's going to stick the nose in. It's really hard to get it done. Yeah, just didn't quite have enough have it up enough alongside Callan, able to sweep around the outside and up through Quarry and onto Reed Park.
Scary spot to be putting the nose in as we jump back, and it looks like Mark Cochran has actually got around Dan Patouche just over the top there. This guy's really showing some great driving. Look at this train of drivers. It shows just how close those times were in qualifying. Good to see, good to see. We'll try and keep on top of all the battles this evening. Kevin Wakefield, oh, what a time! And Sheaf is off, and Sinkovich is off too. That is heavy damage. This could be...
That is a massive wreck. That does not look like it's going anywhere. It looks like he's trying, but the drivetrain looks completely snapped. We'll see if you can get it rolling. Yeah, it's looking pretty finished, so...
This could be first safety car until that is called. Everybody is still hot and racing. Jake Edwards and Callan Hodgkinson working as a team here. Use that draft assist, although they're side drafting, which is... back. Not sure what happened then, but thank you, Internet, as Jake Edwards goes off. And there's a bit of a mix-up in the background as well. Dan Bartouche is around. A lot of things happening on this first lap. John McHenry.
Tyson McAvoy's out of the pits.
So they've slowed down. John McHenry will lead the first lap. We will jump back during this safety car. Thanks to the promo department. Check out what has happened through that first lap. Pushing C and it wouldn't turn on.
now when you wanted to turn on it, do I turn on?
I was pushing the wrong button. All right, thank you so much to the promo department, of course, Tyson McAvoy, for being out here tonight and running our safety car for us. Right, let's get on board and see where all these incidents started. Chopper view. Let's have a look. The first incident where Kevin Wakefield has managed to go off track. We didn't quite see what happened. We did see him hit the wall, though.
There's a massive stack through here. Just having right on board. Looks like he's all good on the exit through Skyline. You head down through the S's.
Oh, someone else has gone off.
Stevens just hit the barrier perfectly on the edge, and that's wrong place, wrong time for Kevin Wakefield. That is an incredible accident.
Toddy's been caught up in that as well.
So was that Steven that's gone off, I believe?
It looks like, it's interesting. Here it's actually flagged it as Kevin Wakefield has crashed before Steven.
Yeah, I think he may have come to a stop beforehand, but he's just hit that wall at the absolute worst
there it
point.
was.
If he hits it a meter later, he's just going to skid down. He's maybe still going to cause something else, but the way that car's gotten wedged at the end of the tyre barrier there, as that's what we were saying pre-race, is it's just the car can get so light as it crests, and you see the rear just completely unloads, and Kevin Wakefield is just nothing he can do in that situation.
Poor Toddy Thorburn as well. Nowhere to go. Will get caught up in that as well. Unfortunate turn of events here at the mountain, but this is exactly what we were saying during qualifying. One small mistake leads to big consequences, especially over the top of the mountain. Unfortunate for the first lap. Nath Verney, thanks for dropping in, mate, and dropping a quick question. Roulette racing taking place after this. No, mate, it has been moved to Friday. All the information is in Discord due to the server maintenance this evening with iRacing. So it has been moved. Okay, on to the next incident. I think it may have started with Jake Edwards. We've got to be quick because... Okay, I can't even grab a shot of Edwards for some reason. It's not saying he's on track. We will have to be quick. Same as Sheaf, I can't get a read on these drivers. It's very odd. We can't get a read on the second incident to actually find out what had happened.
May have had something to do with your disconnect. Or it was around about the same time that it happened.
Yep, that'd make a lot of sense. Thanks, Internet. Anyway, on board with the safety car. He has actually entered the pit lane. I do believe it is now in the hands of Mr. John McHenry. He will lead this pack through now.
So we'll look for John to start generally on the exit of Murray's Corner at the end here, turn 23. And it's a very short run down to the timing line, so it's the hot spot to go. It's very hard for the people behind you to follow through here. It's such a high-rise corner on the curb, and he does look to have gassed it up, and he's off and away. So he's already pulled out 7/10 gap to Bruce White immediately. Really good start. Just caught him napping a little bit, but here behind, Callan Hodgkinson's looking to make a move on the inside of Mark Turner. He's going to send it up the inside and get the move done. Now he can get a good exit run all the way out to the exit curve, and he's going to tuck in now behind Bruce White. 8/10 is the gap, and 7/10 ahead of him is John McHenry from Bruce White. So here we are, the run up to Griffin's Bend.
Going too wide with Fritz riding the back of Turner.
And Callan Hodgkinson's going to fire back down the inside. There's very good grip out there for Mark Turner. He kisses the wall just a little bit on exit, looks like. Not sure if he may have just missed it, but it was very, very wide. There's no grip, especially on the cold tyres on the outside of Griffin's Bend. And now Wayne Edwards is trying to go around the outside. Callan Hodgkinson still maintaining the inside. Fighting all over the place, and Greg Johnson, Ryan Price behind is starting to get on this action with Thorburn behind. These guys have really bunched up as well, and up now through Reed Park. We're all single file. We didn't make it off one lap last time before something went wrong down at Skyline, so see if we can get through here this time. Tyres are still cold, still lacking a bit of grip. You don't want to ask too much of your car. It's not the same as quali. On board with Wayne Edwards. Right on the back of him is Jason Douglas. John McHenry's dropping massive positions. I'm not sure what's happened.
Yep, there's been an incident. I can see that. See what happens in a second. Where is he? So it's happened exactly where, oh no, just after. What has happened? He had an absolute big lead. Oh, the curbs. The curbs, have they unsettled that 86? They have.
He's just taking so much entry speed down through the S's. You can see he's just offline through the dipper. And the rears just come around on the compression. It's just, once you get offline, it can all go wrong. It's not a big contact, but it's just a bad spot to lose it. You're going to have to just sit there and wait. There's nowhere to rejoin. Give these cars a whole lot of steering lock and get them around without making too many point turns. But with all the traffic, there's just nowhere for John to go. See if he can get back up to 10th place. That'll give him pole position for the next race, but we're back on board with Thorburn now, and these guys are right close in together.
Thorburn, Batouche, and Price all battling it out. Here's a little bit of contact, and Batouche goes around into the wall, loses that front bumper, doing a little bit of a weight saving there. Bruce White now is the man out in the lead with a 1.1 second gap back to Callan Hodgkinson.
Yeah, and he set the fastest lap last lap as well of a 2:34.2. It's a second quicker than just about everybody else out there. Albeit it was the first lap back of green running. We should have about 4 laps left in this one.
Bathurst has to be one of the most exciting tracks to watch races on.
Yeah, these cars are great around here.
I just think there's so many cars that to race at Bathurst would be phenomenal to watch. If anybody's ever seen any old school videos of Bathurst when they used to essentially race before the supercars when they did like a multi-class with your Nissans and Holdens and Fords. Someone has just clipped the wall, I heard that. But the multi-class racing around here was crazy, as well as sidecar racing. And the sidecar racing got banned really fast due to a lot of injuries and deaths. But man, oh man, was it a sight to see. Callan Hodgkinson, I think it might have been White that actually clipped the wall. Hodgkinson has now closed that gap to absolutely nothing. Yes, definitely the draft assistance has played effect here. But Hodgkinson is going to go out down the outside. Will hold that outside line to come down into this corner now. Oh, doesn't get the run he wants. That's going to allow Bruce White back into the battle. He will get the run. Fritz is also going to get the run on him.
Yeah, just went way too deep there down into the chase. Was carrying so much extra speed with the drafter. He's actually going to lose out 2 positions before Murray's corner, and now he's right on the back of Fritz, and this is giving Bruce White back the lead. But as you said, we maybe clips the wall a little bit, and he's losing a bit of frontline speed. We'll see what it's like heading up Mountain Straight now. Callan Hodgkinson makes a move down the inside, picks the move back up on Fritz, but Fritz got a really good exit. Up Mountain Straight, it's 1.111 kilometres all the way up here to Griffin's Bend. And they're side by side. Callan Hodgkinson pushing him right to the edge of the track. You cannot go around the outside. These cars do not have the downforce to go around the outside of Griffin's Bend. Fritz is still just edging and edging and edging in front. Callan Hodgkinson down the inside, going to hold the line. It's so cambered in. You can just see how much more grip he has on the inside. Just powers through behind Cochrane. Is going to make it. Oh, thought he was going to have a look at the inside of turn 3. No, just slots in before the cutting. And now we fall up through to Quarry Corner. These guys still side by side all the while. Bruce White out in front up to a 1.5 second gap as these guys battle it out. This has brought Jason Douglas as well, only 6/10 of back off Mark Cochrane behind. He has the fastest lap now of a 1:33.1, so he's really, really pushing the tempo at this stage. But these 4 cars, this is going to be a battle. I'd say definitely for the right to the end of the race for this second position. If not, if Bruce White can hopefully he's hoping he can maintain that 1.3 second gap. That's just out of turn range. He seems to be struggling.
No.
That's massive contact.
Fritz has hit the wall, managed to avoid both Douglas and Cochrane as well, they were extremely close to the back of him. It has moved Douglas up into the chance of a P3 on the back of Mark Cochrane as they come down a long, long straight.
It has been huge drama through the dipper so far. So we're right on board with Jason Douglas side by side with Mark Cochrane now. Up 15 spots so far, Jason Douglas. He's looking to just maintain this one. Down the inside of the chase, he's going to go to look to the outside. It's hard to get it done, but he's kept it on the track and he's powered out of the corner. There's nothing Mark Cochrane can do from this stage but slot in and try to keep with him.
Jump back.
So we jump behind. Thorburn just tucks back in behind Jake Edwards. Thinks better of it. He might have had a move if he wanted to go for it.
He's extremely close to the back of Edwards there, down the straight, as well as Turner is now on the back of Brendan Soper. It looks like Hodgkinson is going for another move on Bruce Wright around on the inside around turn 1. That looked close. This is the sort of battling I was expecting to see from these 86s around Bathurst tonight.
These cars, they just struggle to get up their hills, and it's so beneficial to be sitting behind another car punching a hole in the air. These cars still side by side with each other. Everywhere we look, they're side by side. Mark Turner and Brendan Soper this time on the run up towards Griffin's Bend. Mark Turner's going to have the inside and the advantage heading into the corner. He's going to jump across, try to block off Brendan Soper. He's going to maintain the middle line and hit the apex nicely. Just need to watch himself from the exit. Doesn't run it out too wide, just keeps it nice and safe. Plenty of track to use, but no reason to use it.
Actually see John McHenry up into 9th position now, just behind them with Tyler Sheaf hot in his tail. Not too far off this battle here. So we need to get back to P1 and P2 because Hodgkinson and White are still going at it. Jason Douglas has got around Mark Cochrane and he is pushing fast to catch these two. He's already on the back of him out of nowhere. Soper is around from what I can see. John McHenry and Sheaf have just got around him at the same time. So that'll move McHenry back up into 8th place while we still see Hodgkinson chase Bruce White down and he's going to pull out to the outside line. We're not going to see anything from that view, ShiBBy. Oh my gosh, White up the inside. Wow, that was intense.
All over the curb there at the exit of the chase, and just really aggressive to hold on to that position. But Callum Hodgkinson's still right on the rear gearbox. Only 3/10 a gap. We'll see the run through Murray's corner. Bruce White just clips a little bit of curb. You don't want to take too much of that one. It's an absolute mountain of a curb on the inside. It can really unsettle even the softest of vehicles through there. Callum 4/10 the gap. Bruce White's been looking very, very good through Hell's Corner. But Callum Hodgkinson's got a really good exit. The gap is dropping. Bruce White will be wise to jump over to the right sooner rather than later and defend the inside. As the gap's down to under 2/10 now. Hodgkinson with some massive overspeed. If he doesn't defend, he's going to look down the inside. Bruce White's going to try to defend it from the outside. Cullen's going to go deep on the brakes. Middle squiggly on entry. Just manages to hold on to it. Blocks him on the exit. Now White's right on the rear gearbox of him. Cullen covers the inside. Bruce White's going to have to look to the outside of the cutting if he's going to get it done. I thought he was going to show the nose and the inside there, but just tucks back in. These guys, now you're on the train tracks the whole way up here. If you go overtake over the top of the mountain, you're a brave, brave man. It's the 2 to tango job around here.
1.5 minutes remaining. We may see another lap of this yet. Jason Douglas is right in on the action now. He's down to under a second, and he's brought Mark Cochran with him. These two absolutely storming. Callan Hodgkinson all over the track defending. This may be the last lap. Very shallow on the entry to the dipper. Bruce White's got a nice run through there. He's going to gain a little bit of time. It's going to come down to under 4/10. Now this is the corner. Lots of unders here. He can get here. Can he get the car pulled up? He gets it pulled up nicely, but Callan Hodgkinson got a really good exit out of there. Jason Douglas is right on the rear gearbox of Bruce White now. He's going to have a massive run down. Bruce White's going to have a bit of slipstream from Callan in front, so he can use that to defend if he needs to. Mark Cochran just lost a bit of time behind over the top of the mountain, 1.4 the gap, so he isn't really at play unless something happens. Down to 0.3 the gap now. Callan Hodgkinson. They're side by side, Bruce White and Jason Douglas down into the cutting, covers him off, gets it pulled up and hits the apex nicely, but Jason Douglas is not done yet for him. There may be another lap, we'll see. No, there won't be. Time should expire. We're down to 20 seconds now. We'll see if we get the checkered or white this lap. Down the inside, Jason Douglas knows this might be the last chance. All over the curb. There's 10 seconds left, so we should get one more lap of this. These guys are driving like it's the final lap, lads. We got one more to go.
What an intense battle here for P1, 2, and 3. Jason Douglas and Bruce White not giving up on this position. Both wanting to fight it out to the very end as we head down through our final lap here for our Heat 1 race. Douglas and White putting on an absolute show as we head straight back up the mountain for one more lap. This battle has allowed Hodgkinson to push this gap. He has shot the coupe.
Yeah, as these guys were going at it through turn one, it cost them both a whole lot of time. That's right, he's cutting. He's managed to hold on to it, but that's lost him a whole heap of time. Bruce White, he's going to be under threat from behind. We'll see how close Jake Edwards, Mark Cochran, something must have happened. Something must have happened. Yeah, something must have happened to Mark Cochran behind. He was only just there, but he's disappeared. Maybe pushed too hard, but that's stretched the gap now. So Callan Hodgkinson in the end, up to a 3-second gap, and all of a sudden these guys are all on top of each other. The gaps have nicely spread out.
There's not too many battles happening now. Went from battles everywhere through up until the 7th, 8th lap, and now everybody's sort of stretched out across the field. John McHenry has made it back up into 7th.
So Callan Hodgkinson, Jason Douglas, Bruce White are your top three as it stands. We'll see what race control has to say about that contact between Douglas and White there at the cutting. I'm sure that one's being called in and is under review, so we'll wait for the ruling on that one.
I've also been told by our race controller that Daniel Fritz died.
I believe that was the one at the dipper that we saw.
So he wants a replay. But, mate, we're going to watch Callan Hodgkinson take out our Heat 1 tonight here. Coming down to the final corner. Shoots it through. Great drive from Callan Hodgkinson from Crisscross Racing. He will take out Heat 1. The Shannons Toyota GR86 Nationals. Jason Douglas in P2 pending on race control review if that was called in. Bruce White will be in P3. Jake Edwards, another Crisscross team member, in P4. Mark Cochran, what a great drive from him tonight. Managed to get himself qualied at P5 and finished P5. Mark Turner P6, John McHenry after that unfortunate spin did manage to drive himself back up to P7. Toddy Thorburn, what a drive, up 6 spaces. Places. I can't get letters out tonight, I am telling you. Great drive from Jason Douglas though, up 16 spots out of that one. As we head into our next session, it will be a reverse top 10. So Tyler Sheaf from Velocity Sim Lab will be in pole position for Heat 2 tonight. It's always an interesting start when we flip the top 10. Now, before this session ends, I do want to see Fritz die, because that's what. No, actually, that's not what I meant to say.
I do believe we saw it live briefly as the train was running through the dipper, and he died again.
Well, we gotta stop using that word. Where did he go? Oh no, that has to be.
Is that a failure?
Yeah, that has to be a malfunction of equipment.
Yeah, that looks equipment failure-y to me.
Not great there, Mr. Fritz, who was having a solid drive. Wow, that 20 minutes went quick. Once the session is completely locked in, we will get those results up and running.
Oh, my throat's sore after that.
Yeah, well, if your throat's sore, like Mr. Ryan Green's here, go and grab yourself a drink before Heat 2 starts, because you don't want to miss out on any of that. Thanks to Shannon's Insurance tonight. The results are locked in for the Heat 1. Get the results up on screen and now. So Callan Hodgkinson, Jason Douglas, Bruce White, Jake Edwards, Mark Cochran, Mark Turner, John McHenry, Mr. Toddy Thorburn, Wayne Edwards and Tyler Sheaf will be your top 10. Flip that and reverse it, and that will put Tyler Sheaf on pole position here for our Heat 2 for your Shannon's Insurance Toyota GR86 Nationals. Round 2 is thanks to Warren and Brown Tools. Straight into it, ladies and gentlemen. No messing around from Heat 1 and Heat 2. So we will jump in and get ready to go racing again here tonight in Bathurst. At Bathurst. See what these lads can give us. I expect another great battle like that as we are 1, 2, 3 green to go racing. There's a stall card. Toddy Thorburn has stalled on the line. Everybody make evasive maneuvers. Everybody does look to have gotten around. Great start from the whole field apart from Toddy Thorburn. Looks like he's got a stalled car on the line. Callan Hodgkinson already made 2 places off the start. Moving his way through. Jason Douglas fighting his way through. Already up 4 positions off the start. We'll keep pushing. We've got Sheaf, Edwards. Everybody is going to be heavily on top of each other. As we see J-Mac coming through as well, putting the pressure on. Sheaf is into the wall. Pressure was too much at that point. Will plummet through the field. As we see Douglas and Cochran battling there as they come up through.
Yeah, Sheaf, he was just under so much pressure from behind and just cold tyres that have just pushed way too hard there into Griffin's Bend and just completely understeered. The fronts just didn't have the temps in them yet. These guys ride bumper to bumper. It's like a freight train across the top of the mountain.
There's an 86 train across the top of the mountain. Wow, they are nearly 3 wide. What is going on there? Careful, lads. This is a dangerous spot for these cars. And there's a car around. Car reversed. Looks like... Oh, no. That was a big incident. A car couldn't pull up in time and has hit the side of them. Let's hope these 3 cars can get up and going again. It looked like... Oh, that car is crabbing pretty badly, Mr. Sinkovic. That is really unfortunate. I wonder if he's going to be able to make it back to the pits.
It looks like he's going to try to, but I don't know if it'll behave the whole way there. He may be better off just parking it up. No, I think that's what he's going to do.
Yeah. This could be our second
very awkward spot for that car to be parked up there. So
Unfortunately, Jason Douglas was caught up in that as well, but here we see Thorburn and Wakefield battling it out still until they get the call of the safety car. Mr. Toddy Thorburn will get that move done. Greggy Johnson is around. He's falling through the field as well. He's gone off on the grass. First lap jitters on both Heat 1 and Heat 2 so far. Dan Batouche is right on the back of Callan Hodgkinson. Are we getting a safety car? Not that I've seen yet.
No, I do think Stephen's trying to drive the car back. I'm trying to see whereabouts. No, it still looks stationary, so we'll see what happens with that one. But for the meantime, we'll stick on board with Dan Partouche. She's just going to get edged out by Jake Edwards ahead. These teammates working together to give each other a tow and eke ahead. So single file, Dan Partouche up 7 spots on the start. Ryan Price behind, up 8 spots already. All these guys ahead. Even Jake Edwards, Callan Hodgkinson up 3 and 7 places respectively. All these guys making big moves. So it seems Stephen was given the all clear to tow back into the pits. We won't have a safety car and we race on for these guys.
Toddy Thorburn with Mr. Tyler Sheaf hot in his tail as well. Callan Hodgkinson and Jake Edwards are going to keep working together just a little bit further in front of them to keep Batouche and Price off the back of them. Sheaf is going to be hunting down Thorburn with Kevin Wakefield not far off the back of them. Brendan Soper as well, trying to catch up and get himself involved in this battle. See, he's not that far behind, just coming through after them. Hodgkinson is starting to push away with Edwards from Batouche now. Those two teammates working together to try and push that gap away. And as you can see, Ryan Price, Mark Cochran is right on the back trying to use that draft assistance here. Will pull out to the right-hand side. It will be a drag race down this long straight. Cochran does look like he is going to get that move done over Price. Great bit of driving there, Mark, and he's going to keep the pedal down. He does want to catch the back of Batouche as quick as he can. But Mr. John McHenry, setting the fastest lap with a 2:33.74, will lead this second race by 4 seconds at the moment. Batouche somehow has actually just managed to get back on the back of him. It was over half a second there.
Yeah, maybe a small mistake, or maybe Batouche is just better, but he's right on the rear of him now, and he's going to be the beneficiary of a double tow. Both of these crisscross cars, they're trying to bump draft each other up the straight, working together as a team to maintain position. They're pretty much glued to the back of him, Callan Hodgkinson is. So Jake Edwards has the tow ball out and he's just towing him up the straight. Not much. Dan Partouche is it's a 2v1 situation for him here, and it's going to be hard for him to make a pass of these two working together as is.
I think at this point he's got to stay as smooth as possible and just stay on the back and hopefully use that double draft down the straight. That's where he might make his move. While we've been on board with this battle, Mark Turner has managed to get around Toddy Thorburn. Not sure when that's happened, but let's get a quick replay of this. Toddy Thorburn is far out on the left as they come up. Oh, really close to the wall, Toddy. Toddy's had to pull out there just to save that clip of the wall, and that's allowed Mark Turner to get through.
Around the outside of the cutting, that's a really audacious move. That's really, really well driven then from Mark Turner. That's not easy to do
in the wall.
whatsoever.
Batouche is in the wall.
In the wall, and again, another the Dipper has taken another victim is what I was trying to say. And yeah, it's one of those sites, and we saw it last race with Daniel Fritz and John McHenry. If you go around here, it's just, you have to park it up and you have to wait for the pack to come past. There's just nowhere for you to really go, as we just have a ride on board now and see what happened with Dan Bartouche. She's just taking... You can take a bit of that curb, but I don't know about braking on it. That looks fine through there. The car got nice and settled, but he may have just taken a bit too much entry speed down through the dipper. Yeah, and you just see on the compression, the car just bottomed out in the front end a bit and just over-rotated the rear. It's all about the weight balance through there, and if you get it too far over the front wheels and those rears aren't really doing a lot when you gas it up, because they're just going to spin up and it's going to send you around. So
looks like said Tyson had left the pit lane. Do we have a safety car out there? We do. We have our second safety car of the night. That means this will probably be a one lap. Oh no, I was gonna say one lap. Nope. I'm looking at the wrong times, man. I thought this was going to be a one lap sprint to the end. But we are pulling out our second promo department safety car tonight. Ray Douglas has dropped in to cheer on Jason Douglas. He said, "What's going on? You don't win the race on the first lap. This happens with Jace in go-karts." Good to see you out there supporting Jace, mate.
We're looking Steven Sinkovic and Dan Bartouche, whether it's going to happen. Oh, Dan Bartouche is in the pits. So, sorry, we did see him go around. Steven Sinkovic should get his lap back.
He's on the lead lap still.
Don't think Steven is, because he crashed earlier. No, he's been lapped by John McHenry just. I think he's the only car off the lead lap right now.
Only just.
So, yeah, John McHenry's just in front of him. So, we'll see if it was other leagues. I'm not sure. I can't remember the wave around rules. I know in some leagues, if you're in between the safety car and the lead car as it goes around.
Yeah,
so
he's getting the wave around now. This is such a long track to try and even catch up to the back of this pack. I don't think this safety car is going to be out for more than one lap tonight. Not this time, anyway.
Yeah, we still got Daniel Fritz and Steven Sinkovic still pushing to catch the back of the pack. So, see, should be out. We'll see if it comes in this lap. Don't think so. I don't think it will, but it's all just speculation from my end.
It's just a bit of guessing. They are all bunched up again. Good field of 86 drivers tonight, and the battles have been non-stop. Jason Douglas there trying to keep his tyres warm, getting ready for the restart.
Do you have any replays?
Not too much, to be honest. We've sort of covered everything. Yeah, probably just some overtakes here and there, if anybody wanted to see an overtake. But yeah, nothing. I do believe it was Bartouche spinning that caused the safety car this time, which we caught that. Anyway, so
Dan Bartouche has just come out of the pits. So he is actually kept his lap.
Safety car is pulling away.
So Daniel Fritz may reach the back of the pack just by the time it gets restarted, but absolutely Steven Sinkovic and Dan Bartouche won't reach the back of the pack. So
safety car is in the pit lane. The field is handed to John McHenry for the restart.
So, yeah, Fritz has reached the back of the pack, so we've got a 15 car run here. And John McHenry's off again. He goes at the exact same spot as last time, but I believe it was Bruce White following him last time as well, and he was the wiser of it again. He did not eke out the same gap that he did last time. Callum Hodgkinson just shows the nose, or sorry, that was Jake Edwards, shows the nose down into turn one, thinks better of it. We'll see Callan Hodgkinson's right on the back of him. We'll see if these two guys, these two crisscross cars, bump each other up the straight, and whether they can edge Bruce White ahead further down the pack. See Mark Turner and Ryan Price. Mark Turner just pulls out to the right-hand side. He's going to have a look up to the inside of Griffin's Bend. I wanted to say Quarry. No, that's later on in the lap. To see more cars but side by side further down the pack. Mark Turner makes the move up the inside. Ryan Price almost runs wide and onto the marbles. That could be spelled trouble for him on the cold tyres. Bruce White, I think, in the foreground, just making a move down the inside. They're almost 3 wide as that's Thorburn down the inside, and he's going to hang Ryan Price out to dry around the outside. It's Kevin Wakefield in the orange car in the background. He's trying to take advantage of Tyler Sheaf, who's just got caught up by Ryan Price. Just going a little bit slow through the cutting. We make the run down through Reed Park and on down through the Great and into Sulman. These guys single file now at this stage, but Jason Douglas behind is all over the back of Fritz. He's going to have a look. We got a top-down shot on the chopper cam. They're going to run side by side now down through the S's. He's later on the brakes, and he's going to have the inside. Fritz is going to have to concede. Racing through here is only going to spell trouble. And he's gotten a really, really good run through the S's. Jason Douglas is right on the back of Greg Johnson. Greg Johnson pulled up a little bit early, and he's going to dive down the inside, and there's contact in the forest elbow.
Oh,
that's on the racing line.
No one else was caught up in that. Brendan Soper did get a bit of a spin because of having to lock the brakes. Again, contact over the top of the mountain as we jump straight back up to the front, where Jake Edwards is hot on the back of Bruce White, and McHenry is starting to push a gap away. The more Edwards hassles White, the more McHenry is going to get away.
Yeah, Jake Edwards is absolutely hassling him. He's all over. He's showing him the left, showing him the right. They make side-by-side contact down into Murray's corner. He's going to go for the switchback, the little switcheroo.
Oh, White's onto the grass.
Almost on the sideways. He's kept it straight somehow. Cullen Hodgkinson, I thought, was going to jump up the inside to make it 3 wide. He's going to jump onto the racing line behind Bruce White. His teammate, Jake Edwards, is going to have the inside through Hell Corner. He's going to get the position done, and this leaves Bruce White vulnerable. Cullen's got the double toe the whole way up the straight now. We'll see if he can get the slipstream and get up alongside. But we've got to look behind. Mark Cochran's giving him a little bit of a buff. He wants part of the fun. It's forced Cullen Hodgkinson to the inside. He's going to have to defend. If he didn't, he was going to lose the position to Mark Cochran. He's had to jump out of the toe. Subsequently, though, it's nothing there for Mark. He was never going to be up and alongside. There was a lot of curb there from Jake Edwards ahead, and he's run wide, all the way wide, almost into the fence. Bruce White's going to sneak on past, but Jake, I think, is going to still show the nose on the inside. No, he's going to tuck back in. These guys managed to get it single file before the gutting, but Jake Edwards has got a really, really, really good exit from there, and he's going to run there side by side through Quarry. It's very, very tough. Will they run side by side? No, they get through, no wall touch. Still side by side through Reed Park. These guys are really going at it through the Great onto Sulman Park. Still side by side. These guys just, they love each other. They're trying to hold hands. Finally, Jake Edwards get past through Brock Skyline and down now into the S's.
What a phenomenal show of driving between Edwards and White here. Great shot. Oh, McHenry! He's around again in the same spot. Not again! And he's going to have to wait for the whole field. The whole field's on top of itself. He's going to have to wait again.
John McHenry, first place, and the dipper is the recipe for dread.
Takes another victim.
And that's promoted Jake Edwards to the lead now, and these top 4 right with each other. Only half a second the gap between the 4 of them. Between 4 in each car, that is. So all within slipstream range of each other. Mark Turner's 2 seconds back. So he's still not close enough to get in on the battle, but with these guys keep battling the way they were, he's going to be on the action as well. Bruce White.
Jump back to a quick replay. Jason Douglas was making his way back up the field, and then I'm not sure what's happened, but he's got around Wakefield. Oh, no, I don't think he has got around Wakefield, or he has.
Yeah, it's a little bit of a rear contact there, and
Oh, no.
Kevin's managed to keep it straight. A little bit of side-by-side contact again. These guys still, and yeah, and that sent him around.
Unfortunate. That is unfortunate. Did manage to get his car turned around and back on track. Currently sitting in P12.
These guys lap one up as we jump back. Sorry to Daniel Fritz and Wayne Edwards. Side by side.
Fritz and
Up Griffins is going to go around the outside and he's going to get it done, Daniel Fritz. So we haven't seen that done really yet tonight around the outside.
Wayne Edwards also has got around Wakefield as well.
Bruce White has moved up into the lead. We jump back to that battle. He's got Jake Edwards. They're now side by side. They love going side by side across the top. Little bit of slight contact. Bruce White all over the curve. They're going to side by side down through Skyline. He's going to maintain the lead, Bruce White. He's taking it back. And now through the dipper, these four guys have been on top of each other.
Into the
Massive entry speed. Took far too much speed there through Jake Edwards. He's absolutely clobbered the wall. That would look like something out of alignment, if not his morale.
Definitely with a hit like that, it's going to rattle you up. Henry is now leaving the pits.
He'll be suffering from straight line speed. Jake Edwards, that was a massive hit. I'll be surprised if that steering rack's still straight. Carlin Hodgkinson may have suffered a bit as he avoided his teammate clobbering the wall. Still 4/10 the gap to Bruce White. Doesn't actually have lost to lose too much time. Jake Edwards, Ryan Price, and Daniel Fritz still going at it. Fritz jumping over to cover the inside.
Wayne Edwards has got himself in there as well.
Wayne Edwards has, and he's going to look down the inside of Ryan Price. Ryan Price is going to go a bit deeper on the brakes, but I don't think he's going to have enough speed to carry it around the outside. He's just managed to keep it on track, has Wayne Edwards.
Something's happened. Bruce White is around. Something's happened to Bruce White, and he has dropped 3 positions. So Edwards, Hodgkinson, and Cochran have all managed to get around him. What has happened?
And now we have a...
Oh, too much curb. The 2 wheels are in the air. He's managed to hold it on the grass, but he has dropped those positions there.
He has. And these guys just made the line again for one more lap of racing, so that could have been the end. Look at this 5-way battle. He's down the inside, Bruce White and Mark Cochran side by side. The 2 crisscross boys out in front trying to run away while they can as these cars behind. Mark Turner just has to sit where he is and watch all this happen. This has brought Thorburn all the while. No, sorry, it hasn't brought Thorburn. I was reading the wrong car. Mark Cochran into the battle. He was up with it before, but Mark Turner's made his way past Bruce White. Still only a 3/10 gap. Jake Edwards, even after the contact at the dipper, has still managed to eke out a 1-second gap. We'll see if that plays any factor down Conrod Straight with the damage that he must have sustained through there. Clearly hasn't hindered him too much.
Lap. This is white flag. Mark Turner hot on the back of him. White, Hodgkinson, Edwards. White wants these positions back. What a absolute cracker of a race. Some of the most exciting races we have seen out of this 86 series.
The Jake was still with a 1-second gap. If he can maintain, if that car isn't suffering from straight line speed, and it doesn't look like it is, if he only got a couple more corners and he's going to have the win for the second race here. Carlin Hodgkinson weaving to break the toe from Bruce White behind. It's 8/10 the gap between Cullen and Jake at this stage. You don't look for these 2 to fight as teammates, but they're behind Bruce White and Cullen. Watch these 2 to fight. Bruce White's going to go deep on the brakes. He's going to force Cullen to go shallow, but he's trying to get the switch back and get a bit of entry speed. They've got overlap now, and they've just got overlap. Bruce White's going to have the inside down to the
Contact!
He's turned him, and he's into the wall there. Cullen Hodgkinson All the while, Jake Edwards is going to cross the line. P1 of your Shannons. GR86 Nationals Race 2 here at Bathurst. Mark Turner's going to come out of nowhere, take P3, and Mark Cochran across the line in P4. Sorry, I forgot to mention Bruce White in P2.
Pending on if there was anything called in by race control for that contact there around the last corner with White and Hodgkinson.
So,
we do know Edwards definitely came across the line in P1 without a doubt.
So Thorburn has actually picked up the position as well for P5 from Callan, who got turned around.
Nice work, Toddy. What happened to Jace? Was he past the B pillar? It looked like it. Not sure, mate. There's been so much going on with this race tonight, Jet. We're just trying to jump on, get a quick replay so you guys can see the incidents and then jump right back to the action. Ryan and I have not had a chance to even breathe tonight. The 86s are absolutely on fire here at Bathurst. I do want to get a replay. Oh, that was Hodgkinson, wasn't it?
It was Hodgkinson, yes. Was the so we'll just see there is overlap here between Bruce White. Cullen jumps out to the right, open up the corner. Bruce White follows, and there's the infamous 86 hitbox, and they just grab on each other. What should just be a little bit of, you know, little touch and go contact, and we have another closer look. So we got a small touch there that Cullen just brushes off. He's felt that and moved over. Bruce White's come across. He's want to make this as hard as he can for Cullen to get this position, and he's just got a bit overzealous, I think, on the cover, and he's just grabbed the rear quarter of Cullen. He's turned him around, and that spelled the end for Cullen. So I will leave this one up to race control, but my gut instinct tells me that's going to be on Bruce White.
Definitely seems like it, mate. But again, yes, we do leave these decisions up to race control. We are going to have a 5-minute warm-up. We'll put the results up on screen, but please be aware this could be pending a race control review. So at the moment, this is what your standings do look like. Edwards, White, Turner, Cochran, Thorburn, Fritz, Hodgkinson, Sheaf, Edwards, Soper, Wakefield, Johnston, unfortunately, McHenry again, mate. Must be getting too comfortable and that dipper just eating him. It's just really unfortunate.
It's just something about championship leaders and bottling Bathurst races.
Get too comfortable. Yeah, you get too comfortable and then you forget you can't be comfortable at Bathurst. It's just not a track where you can be comfortable. So we will have a 5-minute warm-up at the moment, ladies and gentlemen. If you want to go fetch yourselves a drink, go to the toilet, have a quick break. I don't know if we've got anybody coming down to the green room to have a chat to us. We'll see in a second if anybody does appear down there. I'd really like to talk to J-Mac, but I feel like that's really unfair for me to do right now, is just to drag him in right before the feature race after 2 dominating leads off the safety cars, getting a massive gap for himself, and also then twice in 2 heats ending his own lead. Really, really unfortunate. So much battling tonight, mate. This 86 series, this Super Sprint series is turning out to be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, it's definitely the, since I've been commentating, the best race so far that I've commentated. Yeah, I think I can call it the best, and we've not even had the 3rd race yet.
Oh, J-Max in green room. He was on the broadcast. Face purple crying. Face purple crying. Face purple crying. Well, let's drag him in. Have a chat because we don't have anybody else for this quick break. Ryan, you want to have a quick chat with John? I've just got to go fill up my water because I think we're going to need it for the last 20 minutes.
John.
Oh, that's a shocker.
John the Dipper McHenry.
twice. Exactly the same thing.
It's mate, it's spelling a recipe for disaster, it seems.
Yeah, I was able to come back a bit in the first time, but the second one, that was it. Was all she wrote.
Hey, you got so much pace in the car as well. It just seems every time that you jump out to that, 1.5, 2 second lead, it's just cut back to you and you're parked up on the outside. Unfortunately,
Yeah,
it's just
pushing too hard through there.
yes. I drove him around here. Was it 2 seasons ago? And it's definitely one of the corners that's the weight transfer as you come over the crest. It's just all over the shop.
Yeah, it is.
It feels like you're walking a tightrope.
Yeah, you come down through the S's on a tightrope and then pull it up for the dipper there and then try to get back on the gas for it. Yeah,
you just cannot feel the rears whatsoever, mate. No, I completely understand. I completely bottled the championship by crashing out of this one 2 seasons ago, so I completely get where you're coming from. For me, it was Forest Elbow. That was my for whatever reason, worst spot. But
it's all fun. It's all fun. That's the main thing.
Can do us promise us you're not gonna bin it out next race?
No, I can't promise that.
Mate, you gonna promise it to me?
I'll give it a crack.
All right, mate. Well, only got about a minute left before the grid, so I'll let you get back into it, and hopefully we get you back in there after this one.
We'll see how we go. Cheers, boys.
All right, so just about 30 seconds left in the practice between race 2 and race 3 here. Tyson McAvoy out on track, cutting some blistering laps in his GT3, doing the safety car laps. So we welcome you back. Camera's changed, so I'm assuming you're back.
I am, mate. I am. Just have to get a quick water bottle fill up because honestly, mate, I don't know how your voice is feeling, and
It's not.
Yeah.
I normally have soothers at my desk, and I don't. I've eaten them all.
Mate. What a cracking series. A lot of solid drivers this series, mate. Showing some really good respect for each other out there. So we are heading into our feature race tonight. This will be a reverse top 5, which puts Toddy Thorburn on pole position for our feature race here tonight for our Shannons Insurance GR86 Nationals. Average Joe has dropped in and said brake pedal exploded on Conrod. Did I miss something? I must have missed something. Anyway, your feature race tonight, Toddy Thorburn will take pole position and lead the pack off the starting grid. Mark Cochran will line up right next to him. Another Mark and Bruce White will be on row 2. Jake Edwards, Daniel Fritz, row 3. Callan Hodgkinson and Tyler Sheaf, row 4. Wayne Edwards and Brendan Soper will wind out your top 10, and everybody else sits in the position that they finished from the race before. Toddy Thorburn with all the pressure on him.
Average Joe is Daniel Fritz, so that's what we saw in race 1 when he went straight on it. Yeah, I've just seen in the RCBC chat, he just said brake pedal exploded. He got the lights blacked out, but they're starting to go on. 2 lights, 3 lights, 4 and 5. And they're out. That's a good start from Thorburn, it looks like. And Cochran is immediately trying to jump across the right to cover off Mark Turner, who got a really good start. Thorburn backs out to the racing line, but Mark Turner's up the inside. He got a really good launch on Cochran on the jump.
Big drift around that corner there. Manages to catch it and keep the pedal down. Don't forget cold tyres, ladies and gentlemen. I do believe there may have been a pit lane start.
Jason Douglas, I believe that was started from the pit lane. So he's just exited the pit box now. He's 10 seconds off the back, but we'll jump back to the action at hand. Jake Edwards down the inside. That's a massive dive, and he's managed to get it pulled up. He's going to try to hang Jake Edwards out to drive, but he's going to have the good run and the tow from Mark Cochran ahead. He's actually just going to drop positions back there, Bruce White. Jake Edwards jumped across the cover off. He's going to try to swoop around the outside of Mark Cochran, trying to get as quick as he can. And there's a bit of contact, and around goes
Edwards, I think. No, it was Cochrane.
I think that was Cochrane. Yeah, Cochrane's gone around in his right on the line, and Wakefield's got nowhere to go. He's just following. He was completely blind.
Oh my gosh, unfortunate turn of events there, but for Jason Douglas, that does bring him 2 positions further up the field now. We'll get a replay of that soon as the battles settle down, but it is still on for young and old as we move through, starting with Brendan Soper, with McHenry, Price, Johnston, Bartush and Sinkovic all chasing the rear of him at the moment. Soper's managed to push a second gap. Now that happened real quick. He might have been much quicker through there at the moment on cold tyres than McHenry and the rest of them. Definitely battle starting. Bruce White and Hodgkinson are into it again.
Congratulations, boss man Steven Sinkovic, making it to Conrod on lap 1 for the first time tonight.
Got to throw some shade at the boss, don't
Had
we?
to do it.
You know what?
Actually, like Bruce White's down the inside of Callum Hodgkinson. We see these two last lap, and they're back at it again.
Sheaf has just come off track, dropped a position to Fritz. Fritz has got around him. Batouche is off track. Sinkovic is around him. Edwards is around him. There was a car lock up just then. Fritz is now on the back of Edwards. Yeah, did he just
dropped off a bit? It looks his name went grey, like he almost went into the pit lane. I'm not sure if there was side-by-side contact and almost forced him down the lane.
I did hear
and then it went
lock brakes, and then all of a sudden he was below. So
he may have almost been forced down the pit lane. Yeah, again, his name went grey, like he was entering the box, but then it came back to full white again on my timing board. So that's my best guess of what happened. We'll jump back to Thorburn and Mark Turner now. Mark Turner's been on an absolute mission since the start, and he's got a really good exit out of Griffin's Bend. He's going to look to the outside of 3 and then again to the outside of 4 of the cutting. Just forces him narrow though, Thorburn. He's making him very, very uncomfortable. Still just 2/10 the gap behind. He's going to be right on him all the way up through Quarry and up into Reed Park. Just had to ease off a little bit and give himself a little bit of space. There's no point being right on the rear gearbox of him. They move through the grate and on to Sulman Park. These guys going tit for tat. Mark Turner's just looked absolutely electric since the start here, and he's just right on the back of Thorburn, who's been under pressure since the jump. Bruce White's made up a lot of time. As we look at
Price make a move
down the inside.
Managed to get up and around Brendan Soper there. Now that's brought Greggy Johnson. Greggy's got a bit of damage on the front of his car there. Might have been a little bit of bumping and rubbing through the first lap.
So that was a drive-through penalty we just saw pop up for car 55, Bruce White. I believe that was lap 14, I think it said. So
car
55,
that could have been lap 1, turn 4.
Turn 4. I knew I read 1 and 4 together. I was going to say lap 14. I don't think there's been 14 laps combined over the 2 races. That makes a lot more sense in my meat brain.
Just change the race control message from 20 seconds to 30 seconds to help everybody get those, be able to see them. But Greggy Johnson is now making a move on Soper, making it look easy. I wonder if Soper's copped a bit of damage through one of those incidents on the first, and it's just not letting him keep that speed running. Batouche now winding up Soper right on the back of him as well. It looks like Soper's going to concede another spot to Batouche.
So Thorburn stretched it a little bit. We saw Mark Turner right on the back before, and he's up to 7/10 the gap between those guys. Bruce White's still right on the back of Mark Turner. However, as you can see right now as we jump to it, it's got a good run all the way up Mountain Straight. 1.1 kilometers the run up here. Is only down to 10th again. He's going to look to the inside. He's going to show him the nose. He's going to send it down the inside of Griffin's Bend. We didn't give it up enough alongside. Just had to back out and concede the corner. Mark Turner's still under the pump, but he's managed to gain back on Thorburn. It's up down to 4/10 from 7. on the exit of Hell's Corner. Bruce White eased off a bit. He's looked for a good exit and therefore a good run all the way up to Skyline. 2/10 the gap. This has been where Mark Turner's looked really, really strong and has put Thorburn under a load of pressure. All since through the S's and through the dipper and onwards, Thorburns looked very, very strong, or at least he has in the first 2 laps of the race. Bruce White, you can see the strength of the double toe up the hill, gained from 5/10 all the way down to 2/10, and he's going to be right on the back. Mark Turner's looking, but just has to tuck back in. Again, unless you got overlap, it's going to be hard to go anywhere over Brock Skyline, down through the dipper, through nice and clean, and now through the S's down towards Forest Elbow, one of the trickiest corners of the circuit. Your front's completely unload. Jake Edwards has come out of nowhere and said, I want some of this fun. Can I play with the big kids?
Yeah, well, Edwards and Hodgkinson and White have been battling non-stop this whole night, so it could be his chance to get in there. Bruce White is definitely the danger man, I think, watching him drive tonight. Very comfortable in this 86 and very quick. As we see Mark Turner right on the back of Thorburn. He's going to put it down the inside. Will get that move done smoothly. Is on the grass though. Will hold the car in a straight line. Thorburn will concede a spot there to Turner. Bruce White will be taking his drive through right now. Toddy Thorburn right on the back of Turner. Does not want to get it away. Gets the car a little bit loose. Jake Edwards is now on the rear of Toddy. These 86s are going crazy tonight here at Bathurst. What an absolute show.
Yeah, Jake Edwards down the inside, and that cost him, as you said, really big on exit there. Todd Thorburn, you saw him get all over the shop on the exit of Murray's Corner, and it just stepped out. And they gave Jake, who got a really good exit through 23, a really good run on the pit straight. But it's not over for Thorburn. It's down to under a 10th, or just about a 10th the gap now. I think he's just going to stick behind Jake Edwards. He knows he's got a lot of pace behind him. Mark doesn't want Mark Turner to get too far away. It's 9/10 the gap. Jake Edwards and Mark Turner ahead. So any battle now between those two would edge Mark out away from the slipstream and potentially stretch that gap further and further. All the while, Daniel Fritz behind, still 2 second the gap. He's just edging and edging, getting a bit closer. He's still looming. Jake Edwards, Cullen Hodgkinson's on a bit of a charge. Back to Ryan Price and Tyler Sheaf, both the blue cars going side, or Greg Johnson even, side by side. These two, a lot of respect shown through here. They're still side by side. Ryan Price is going to keep the nose in, and so is Greg Johnson around the outside, almost coming together then on the exit of Quarry, and now through to the great Greg Johnson on the outside, still side by side. These guys right side by side again through Silman, and now over into Skyline. They got door banging the whole way across. Ryan Price trying to keep the nose in, but Greg Johnson's just swooped around the outside. He's going to have a good run down into Skyline, just a bit offline. Oh, goodbye Ryan Price, and we're back.
Bit of a blink there from Price. What a great battle between Price and Johnson. It's just been non-stop. Oh no, Price has hit the wall as we've just clipped away.
Just say it.
No.
That's on you, ShiBBy.
No, that is on me. I'm so sorry, Ryan. Beautiful battling there with Johnston, though. Absolutely phenomenal. Jamie Christensen, welcome to the broadcast, mate. Great to see you again. Hey, look, we were surprised you didn't sign up for this series again, mate. We were expecting to see you out here racing around in the 86s, mate. Great field this season. Awesome tracks so far. Some phenomenal drives. What a cracker Bathurst has been, as we see Soper. Price is struggling with that damage now. Will not have that straight line speed. Soper will... No, Price has got the braking on him. He will pull through that corner, but straight line speed is definitely going to be hurting here for Price. Soper will probably get him. Oh, no, Price is going to pull into the pits, take his fast repair, and get on back out there. As Fritz now has slotted himself up on the back of Edwards.
Look at these four. It's just always a four-way battle for the lead. Fritz has, got that 2 seconds. He's managed to pull it back, and now he's going to look to the outside of Jake Edwards. keeps escaping me Griffin's Bend. I don't know why I keep going to say quarry. I think it used to be a common misconception that corner being called quarry. No, it's definitely Griffin's Bend. But enough of my off-topic rambling.
We got
a battle on our hands.
Some off-topic ramblings, all right. But yes, there is a battle.
That corner wrong.
Look, I think a lot of viewers aren't going to know what the corners are called either, mate. They're just loving watching these guys battle it out and do it fast. Jake Edwards putting the nose out. Toddy Thorburn got a little uneasy there over the ripple strips on the right-hand side. Cost him to lose a little bit of speed, and Edwards will hang it out on the left-hand side to get that move around Toddy Thorburn. Fritz, though, now hot on his tail as Mark Turner starts to push a gap from the back of Edwards as the sun starts setting over the mountain here at Bathurst. I can't get enough of these 86s right now.
We got the headlights out to light the way. As you said, the sun sets behind the mountain. Daniel Fritz got a really good run through Forest Elbow, and he's already side by side halfway down Conrod Straight. Thorburn's really at risk. He's going to hold the inside to the chase, or the outside to the chase, but then the inside to the end of it. Daniel Fritz is going to have the inside around here. He's going to get a good slingshot. However, Thorburn's going to carry that extra speed, and he's going to, as you see, just eke ahead. Daniel Fritz later on the brakes is going to try for a bit of a switchback, it seems. Toddy Thorburn just manages to keep it. Fritz has still got that overlap. Now they're side by side heading down into 23. Fritz going to be trying to go on the brakes, go for another switchback, keep him narrow, and again try to get the inside. And he's going to have the overlap down into Hell Corner, and they're side by side again on the run down here. This is going to be a much easier move for Fritz. He's had to work for it the whole way down Conrod Straight. Thorburn's going to look around the outside, try to power out of the corner. No, he did get a decent exit, but not enough.
Gosh.
Hodgkinson. He was going to try to jump. I was about to say Thorburn's going to want to jump on the inside into the toe, but he didn't have any. Callum Hodgkinson.
Edwards and Turner. I'm so sorry to cut you off, mate, but Edwards and Turner now on top of each other. Turner had a great gap. Now Edwards has jumped him and got in the lead here. First it was Hodgkinson and White. Now it's Turner and Edwards that battle this out again. Hodgkinson, Fritz. McHenry up 8 spots now on the back of Fritz. Actually, to the left of Fritz.
Down the inside, he manages to sneak the nose in at the cutting. Fritz just didn't really see it coming. He's going to keep his nose in through Quarry and up through under the tree and the headlights soaked mountain as the sun really goes down and the darkness of night sets in. He can't get over Daniel Fritz because Thorburn's on the inside. These guys are just sneaking by any which way they can. If you lose one, you lose two with these guys right now. Thorburn's going to sneak around the outside. He's going to get a good run. Fritz has lost 2 positions, but John McHenry's come up 9 spots into 4th place. He's 2.2 off the back of Callan. Mark Turner and Jake Edwards up in P1 and 2. They're still battling, so these group could still bunch up yet. There's still over 5 minutes to go left in this race. And these guys have just been electric all night.
Absolutely, mate. Solid field of 86 drivers, and Bathurst has really turned it on as Fritz is now having another go at Thorburn. They're going to go side by side down Conrod. Fritz does have the nose out just a little bit. Good move by Thorburn getting back in there, try and use that draft assistance. He's now going to want to try and out-brake Fritz down through here. He will get on the brakes a little bit later.
Jake Edwards has come around somewhere. You can see him dropping down the order. Mark Turner's taking the lead. There he is. That's broken.
Big damage. Big damage for Edwards.
That is massively broken.
We'll jump back on board as we see Bathurst and Wakefield. No, anywhere we look on the field tonight, there has been battles non-stop. These 86 drivers are absolutely showing you how much fun it is to get out of here and have a race, and you can still register now. If you want to get on board, head to www.simracingworld.com.au. Come register for the GR86 series. It is absolutely free. Bruce White back in the show again here, down 4 spots though, and that after a unfortunate drive-through penalty, back on the back of Jason Douglas, who is now up 9 spots after a pit lane start penalty. Need to get a replay of what's happened to Edwards. John McHenry now up 10 spots into P3. Has led both Heat 1 and Heat 2 for a very long period of time until the Dipper claimed him as a victim. Bruce White.
He's got that dog in him right now, John McHenry. He really wants to make up for the misdiscretions of races just gone. He had a lot to play for tonight, and as we just have a look at the replay of what happened to Jake Edwards before.
Oh,
and he just had a little bit of a wobble on entry, and just got on the grass, and it's rotated the rear, and at this stage there's nothing he can do, straight into the wall, and we see how easy these cars break. Paper mache 86.
Yep. And that's how Jake Edwards, dropped from P1 right down now to stuck in the pits, and that probably will be his race over with only 3 minutes to go here tonight for your Shannons Insurance Toyota GR86 Nationals. What a cracking race. Now Mark Turner has absolutely pushed the gap out from Hodgkinson. 2.5 seconds back to Hodgkinson. Then from Hodgkinson, 2.2 seconds back to McHenry, who has had a solid drive to get himself up 10 spots into P3 right now. Fritz is hot on his tail, though.
He is hanging around, Fritz, who thought is we have a little bit of a disconnect. You good, Shib?
Yeah, we're back.
We're back. SDK isn't. I can tell you that for free. Oh, there it is. And we're officially back. But as I was saying, I thought after John got past, he might eke away from Fritz a bit and really try to get on the back of Callan. But as I was saying, you see the gap down to 1.5 seconds to Callan. John McHenry he was actually slower last lap than Callan Hodgkinson. So a gap, he's almost in that slipstream range with Callan. It's getting closer and closer. So 18 minutes left, Mark Turner. This should be the last lap of the race, dare I say.
Could say that, but last heat went to 21 minutes. It's going to depend when Mark Turner comes over that finish line, whether they will get one more lap or not. Mate, we need to discuss, while we've got time, a driver of the day. This is getting harder and harder. This season, in all series, has been extremely hard to pick a driver of the day. At the moment, my vote's on Toddy Thorburn with a great drive for a P5 in the race just before, and I think he actually finished P5 in the first race as well. And still sitting in P5.
As we jump to Bruce White and Jason Douglas, 2/10 the gap. As I was just seeing, John McHenry has made his way onto the back of Callan Hodgkinson as well up ahead, but we'll stick on board with these two for now. We'll monitor the gap up ahead. Bruce White just trying to size him up down into Forestdale where he's looped out wide. He's going to look for that exit speed and that run down to Conrod straight. John McHenry 4/10 the gap to Callan, still just hasn't got up close enough as they head to the chase. Those two jump on board now with those guys.
This
Locked
is
on,
the
lads.
final
John McHenry.
lap. We'll be going one more. Nope, it's not. That is checkered. This is the final lap. We will be seeing the feature race finished here as Mark Turner comes across the line in P1 for K-Tech Motorsport, but right behind John McHenry making a last-ditch effort on Callan Hodgkinson. I don't think it was enough. Look how close that was. That was absolutely ridiculous. So Callan Hodgkinson from Crisscross Racing will lock himself in a feature P2, John McHenry up 10 places to finally get himself on the podium tonight for a P3. Daniel Fritz with an awesome drive as well after some hardware failure in race 2 to finish in P4. And Toddy Thorburn, another P5 finish for our favourite Kiwi chef. Tyler Sheaf, a phenomenal drive from him as well, to finish in P6. Bruce White for P7. Jason Douglas up 8 spots for P8. Brendan Soper will come in at P9. And Dan Bartouche up 7 spots will come through for P10. Now, somebody do the maths and tell us who the overall winner is. Too many people out there tonight showing different gridding every time. There's been different people on the podium all 3 races. Tyson McAvoy is saying J-Mac for driver of the day.
I think J-Mac with the recovery drive at the end to just shake off the first 2 races and to come back pretty much from the back. Well, yeah, 13th to come back to P3, I think is pretty impressive in the second race, especially with no safety car as well to aid that.
It's true, but his spins did mean he wasn't very consistent in the first 2. It's always so hard because definitely J-Mac is deserving of his comeback drive in the 3rd race. Oh my gosh, it's too hard. We just got to put some names in a hat. I think Stephen McCarthy's dropped in and said Callan Hodgkinson. Got too many choices. It's a bloody hard one. See, my vote's on Toddy Thorburn for having a solid, really... What's that noise? Someone's just done the jump. Boys are doing the jump. I don't know who that... Oh, it was McHenry. A couple of cars have just hit the jump, as it is tradition here at Bathurst. So I believe it actually might have been Fritz right in front of him. We will get a replay of the jump because why the heck not? Fritz will take the jump. Oh wow, he'll actually land. Oh, I was going to say he'll land that really nicely, but he definitely didn't. And then the other one was Mr. McHenry, so let's get a replay of his jump as well. I could hear the sand trap. Oh, that was a solid one there for McHenry. Okay, I see Stefan's point. So he's saying Kalinka's first race taken out of podium. And then first race, I'm assuming, taken out of podium, second race, and then second in the last race. So I suppose that is pretty deserving as well. I think we might have to rustle up. I think everybody forgot about our podium photos again. I think we might have to rustle up a couple of extra sweets thanks to temptingsweets.com.au. Use code SRW10 to get a discount off your next bag of sweet treats. This is going to be a hard one. We may have to announce this afterwards. There may be a discussion. There's too many different choices. Too many drivers tonight. Absolutely rewarding. Tyson voting for himself safety car driver of the day. Feature results are up now. Mark Turner for K-Tech Motorsport will take out the feature race here tonight with Callan Hodgkinson for Crisscross Racing in P2. John McHenry for Locked On Lads in P3. Honestly, I could give a sweet treat to all of our drivers who took to Bathurst here tonight for the Shannons Insurance Toyota GR86 Nationals, because what a heck of a ride that was tonight. Yeah, Chef Toddy's dropped in. Hey, mate, I saw you in the practice session early, and I was trying to get the boys that I was talking to in Discord to tell you how much I love you, you legend. Solid drive tonight, mate. 2 P5 finishes, mate. Where did you finish in race 1? Because you definitely got P5 in the feature and P5 in race 2 Where did you finish in race 1? Do you recall? Actually, we can see that. I can see that. Here we go. Toddy Thorburn got P8. P8, and then a 5 and a 5. So we can go back and look at the results. So Callan did get a P1. Oh my gosh, it's too hard.
To me, I agree with Stefan. I think Callan, drove the wheels off the thing. And he got to shrug off the incident as well that he had that landed him in P6, which should have been a podium, and then come back and grab 2 more.
All right, we're locking it in. Unfortunately, Toddy, majority overrules. We're going to give it to Callan Hodgkinson for your driver of the day, and he will be receiving a little congratulations pack from attemptingsweets.com.au. It's all right, Toddy. I will send you some sweets, or we'll hang out one night, mate, have a few brewskis and drive some cars together. Miss you, bud. Hope you're doing well. Anyway, we need to get on to the podium interviews, which, man, I'm just still pumped. I'm still so pumped. I don't know what I'm doing.
So you good job. You promised me you would, and then you delivered. So you're a man of your word, it seems, John McHenry.
Managed to hold on to that one this race. I haven't done that the first 2.
Well, congratulations on the recovery drive, nonetheless, for P3, mate. That was easily the best race I've watched.
Oh, that was good fun.
So far.
That was really good
Yeah,
fun.
that was an absolutely electric race all up and across the grid, mate. Talk us through, mate, what do you have to do to get it back on the podium for race 3?
Just keep pushing. Push, and that's all I could say is just keep pushing. Just zero in the car in front and, try and lock onto the back of it, get the toe where I could, and once I got that, try and get past them and get away. That was pretty much it. And I think a couple of boys got into a few battles there, which gave me a chance to catch up to them, especially when Cal caught up to, I think, Toddy and Fritzy there at one stage, and it gave me a chance to keep a lot of speed and drive around them a bit, which was following Cal through was a bit of an advantage on that one.
Yeah, well, you ended up grabbing the fastest lap of the race there on the last lap. It was a 2:32.2. You were pushing the roof off the car, trying to get past car, and it was only 1800ths the gap at the end of there. We saw you almost get past, but it wasn't quite enough.
A little bit far back to try and pass at the corner, but I thought I'll stick the nose out and see what I can make him possibly make a mistake and do. And he got a bit sideways, so I had to get back on the gas and try and see what we could do. And it was good fun. I've been racing against Cal for quite some time, and somehow we always seem to be magnets and find each other and probably have the best racing against each other. And the most respectful racing we can have, which is good.
Well, if it's any consolation to you, mate, you grabbed 92 points for the 3rd place finish. 2nd place grabbed 96, but you did grab 5 extra for the fastest lap. So you would have got more if you got past anyway. I mean, whether you would have got fastest lap as well, who knows? But you ended up grabbing the 5 points anyway. So congratulations on that one.
Yeah, cheers, guys.
Anyone you want to shout out before we wrap it up?
All the boys at Locked On Lads. And as we said before, we don't have any sponsors. We like to do it and if we can raise some money for Cure Cancer especially, and get the word out there about It Ain't Weak to Speak. Anyone who finds himself in a tough situation, struggling and needs someone to talk to, It Ain't Weak to Speak. If anyone wants to look them up, they've got people on call. If anyone needs to discuss anything with, great organisation to help people out there.
Perfect, man. It was a great initiative, mate. Great awareness as well. And need more of it, honestly. Really appreciate that. Well, congratulations on the P3, mate, and hopefully we'll see you again next week.
Will do.
There you go, Mr. J, Mac.
Yes,
when are you going to drag Mr. Not ShiBBy J, Mac? When are you going to drag some more of the Locked On Lads back on over?
I'm not sure, mate. I think they've a lot of the boys are running around a couple of other things with the Formula Fords. I think a lot of the boys like the little open wheelers like that. So they've gone back to do that for the moment. But
When they
Never know.
released the FR4000, that's what it's called, right? The new open wheeler Formula Ford. I did jump in and have a turn of those, and they are like just so much fun. So
yeah, the boys like that. They started a lot of them with the ShiBBy, and now they've gone to the Formula. I think it's Formula Ford 1600, and yeah, they're having some fun in that at the moment. So they may change at some stage, but yeah, we'll see how we go.
all right, mate. Well, congratulations. What a solid drive tonight, mate. Yeah, well done. And look forward to seeing you out here on track again.
Yeah, cheers, mate.
That was your P3 here tonight for your feature race. That is John, not ShiBBy McHenry for Locked On Racing. We now will move on to second place, who was Callan Hodgkinson for Crisscross Racing. Good evening, sir.
Good evening. How you going?
Good, mate. How are you going?
Yeah, good. It was interesting few races.
Interesting, mate. It was jam-packed, full of action, and we couldn't get enough of it.
Yeah. It's good considering I got COVID the last couple of days, so interesting. But always had fun battling in the 86s.
Oh, mate, hadn't you been sick?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh. And you drove that well? Maybe you should get sick all the time. Mate, you drove the absolute pants off this 86 tonight.
Yeah, I love Bathurst. It's always good fun. And yeah, it was a bit unlucky in the second race. Me and Bruce came together, but me and Jake nearly had a couple of 1-2s. But yeah, it was a great all in all. Not sure where I finished for the round, but I'll take it.
The teamwork between you guys was really definitely making a big difference. Seems mainly the only two out there that actually there is two of yous on track. So that teamwork was making a huge difference, especially with those battles for Bruce White. Oh my gosh, he absolutely wanted to hound the both of you and didn't back off. How'd you feel that pressure from him?
Yeah, it's good. You're always going to love a bit of pressure. Yeah, good tight racing, so can't complain with that. And it's good to have a teammate. As you know, I'm used to being a lonesome soldier, so thanks to Jake for racing tonight.
Yeah, mate. Yeah, it's good to see more of the crisscross starting to filter through the series again. We do know that most of the drivers out there are big on the GT League, so great to see more of yous coming through. And great to see just the solid competitive driving across the field tonight here at 86. Bathurst really turned it on as well, so massive shout out to yourself and everybody else out there for the solid driving, mate. And it is now your turn to shout out the sponsors that keep you and Crisscross Racing out here on the track.
Yeah, thanks, mate. Jennifer Russell Real Estate, Shunt Scenery, and Armiton Bakery. Yeah, three main ones. So yeah, thanks to those guys, and yeah, thanks to SW, you guys for the broadcast, and all the other races for racing. Cheers.
Yeah, no problems at all, mate. Look forward to next week.
Always, mate. Yeah.
Always.
Hopefully feel a bit better next week, so I'm not sure what track it is, but
yeah, I was just having a look for you, mate. Next week will be Red Bull Ring.
Wait.
So that'll be a kicker as well in the 86s. We expected more gaps to break in the 86s, being very heavily draft dependent, especially at Bathurst as well. But oh my lord, just the whole pack was on top. The whole field was on top of each other.
Yeah, it was tight. It was good. That's what you want.
Yeah, mate. Are you enjoying the super sprint format for the 86s?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think it's great. I think everyone is definitely a good format.
Yeah, well, that's what we were hoping for. We want our drivers to enjoy the series we put on, mate. And I tell you what, I'm absolutely enjoying watching them, and I cannot wait for next week for the Red Bull Ring, mate. It's going to be an absolute cracker.
Yeah, sure will.
Awesome, mate. Well, congratulations. I won't keep you any longer, mate. Go and rest and get better. And we will see you back out on track next week.
No worries. Thanks, mate.
Cheers, bud. Have a good one.
All right.
Right, so I have pinged our first place feature winner Mr.
Yeah,
Mark Turner.
I messaged him as well, but nowhere to be seen. So don't know if he's gonna. Yeah, don't know if we're gonna see him, unfortunately.
No response so far, but we will get him up on the screen with that lovely looking Sim Racing World podium interview. So this is your feature race first place. Mark Turner from K-Tech Motorsport. Absolutely phenomenal drive for him. I want to give a few big shout outs, especially to Mr. Toddy Thorburn, that had a solid drive as well, and Bruce White. Absolute cracking drives from everybody out there on track tonight. Ryan, that has been so much fun commentating with you again. Thoroughly enjoying these Thursday night, oh my gosh, Shannon's Insurance Toyota GR86 Nationals. Huge shout out to Shannon's Insurance, of course. Warren and Brown Promo Department, Racecraft, Grim Industries, Tempting Sweets, and Rare Spares. And of course, we can't forget our sponsor of the V8 Supercars, simrigs.com. If you want any more information on what our sponsors can do for you, all the links are in the descriptions below. I've been Nathan ShiBBy Howard. The man next to me has been Ryan Green. It has been an absolute joy putting on this broadcast for you all tonight. And we are going to end this by saying stay safe and race hard.